After every NHL draft, hope springs eternal as every franchise thinks they have greatly improved their team. But after yesterday's first round of the NHL entry draft, 3 teams stood out above the rest. So today we're going to take a look at the 3 NHL teams that improved their roster the most at the 2025 NHL entry draft. Hey everybody, welcome into Clearing the Benches, your one-stop shop for hockey content. If you go ahead and hit your subscription button right now, you'll be sure to be in on all of our future videos. Well, yesterday's first round of the NHL draft was extremely exciting. After the first pick, Matthew Schaefer, really it became a guessing game. And as the Florida Panthers are having so much success in the NHL playoffs with a physical style of play, that is what dictated yesterday's draft. So let's get into it. Let's start off with the number 3 team that I think improved the most yesterday at the NHL draft, and that is the Nashville Predators. They took Brady Martin at number 5. He's a center out of the Sioux. He's got a huge, big-time compete level. This year, he had 72 points in just 57 OHL games, and he had 3 shorthanded goals. He is an extremely hard worker. And when you look back to another guy who played at the Sioux back in the day, very similar, and that is Philadelphia Flyers coach Rick Tocchet. When Tocchet played in the Sioux, and you watch Martin now, very, very similar. They just can't wait to go over the boards, hit somebody, try to pick up a loose puck, and bury it in the back of the net. Brady Martin's NHL comp has this: Sam Bennett. Same style of play. Piss and vinegar around the front of the net. They're going to upset you, and then they are going to score. So Brady Martin, Nashville Predators, excellent selection. And then they had 2 more first-round selections. At number 21, they took Cameron Reed, an under-the-radar 6 foot, 185-pound elite skating left shot D. He played for the Kitchener Rangers this year. His NHL comparison is Winnipeg Jets' Josh Morrissey, and Morrissey is a straight-out stud. When I look at the Predators and their roster, this is going to work out perfectly for them if Reed produces the way he has up to this point in his career. He will be taking over for Roman Josi to be the quarterback on the power play in the future for the Preds. He's got that kind of skill level, and I know a lot of people have not heard of him, but when they watch him play, especially down in Nashville, you know, that's a blue-collar town. They are really going to enjoy Cameron Reed. And another guy they're going to fall in love with, they took with the 26th pick, and that is Riker Lee, a right wing out of Madison of the USHL. The USHL is growing as a league, and they are starting to have a lot of guys drafted, and now they're starting to make an impact when they make it to the NHL. Riker Lee, 6 foot, 185 pounds. He led all USHL rookies in goals with 31, power play goals 10, 68 points, and he was second in the USHL in assists with 37. He is committed to Michigan State next year. And his NHL comparison, according to his coach at Shattuck St. Mary's, and you know all the names that have come out of Shattuck St. Mary's and gone on to become legends in the NHL. And the coach there said Riker Lee is a combination of Macklin Celebrini and New York Islanders prospect Cole Yzerman. If you look at the possibility of those 3 players reach their potential, Nashville has very, very much improved themselves this season. Next up at number 2, I've got the Philadelphia Flyers. When they took Porter Martone at number 6, I just said to myself, makes sense because he's basically Rick Tocchet 2.0. When you look same size, skill, snarl, and now you're going to put this with Michkov and Cates and Jet Luchenko. Don't forget about him from last year. In the future, I look at a guy like Porter Martone. He's going to be a Flyer favorite. He could be the Flyers captain in the future. The fans are going to love this kid. He is another kid. Can't wait to come over the boards and just smash somebody, take the puck, and put it in the back of the net. Very, very reminiscent of guys like Rick Tocchet. And in today's game, they're comparing him to such guys as Brady Tkachuk and Matthew Tkachuk. Again, he could be a 40-goal, 150 penalty minute a year guy for the Flyers. And again, that fan base is just going to love him. And then the Flyers at 12 traded their 22nd and 31st pick to move up and select 6'4", 190-pound center Jack Nesbitt. And Nesbitt has compared himself to Jamie Benn. He loves that physicality. He's got a very high hockey IQ. Those are his strongest assets. And a kid who's willing to do it all. In the 2025 Connor McDavid prospect game, he had a Gordie Howe hat trick as he recorded a goal, an assist, and a fight. So Porter Martone and Jack Nesbitt are going to be two typical Flyers. Both of them big size, 6'4". Nesbitt's almost 200 pounds at 190 pounds now. So by the time he makes it in to Philadelphia, he'll probably be 205 pounds. So again, when you look at these two guys and the size and the skill, and now you're going to put them up there with, other guys like Forrester, Cates, Luchenko, Michkov, that is going to be something very fun to watch in Philadelphia. And my number one team that improved themselves the most yesterday at the first round of the NHL draft is the New York Islanders. Just off the bat, the Islanders got the best player, and he's being compared to Cale Makar, so he's probably going to be the best defenseman in this draft. And then they also got Kashawn Aitchison, probably the nasty and most feared hitter in this draft. He is just got it all. And then they picked Victor Eklund. So when we look at Matthew Schaefer taken first overall, he was head and shoulders above everybody else. And when you look at the skill level of the guys that he was ahead of, Michael Misa, Martone, Anton Frundell, this tells me that this kid is going to be it. Personally, when I look at the way he plays, he reminds me of two New York Islanders. Ken Morrow, who's the guy who's the director of scouting for the Islanders, he won 4 cups after he won the gold medal in the Miracle on Ice game in Lake Placid 1980. Dennis Potvin was taken number 1 overall, and he won 4 Stanley Cups with the New York Islanders. I think Matthew Schaefer, with his leadership skills and his maturity, first of all, he's going to replace Noah Dobson in probably less than 2 years on the back end. And it would not surprise me to see Matthew Schaefer maybe get 25, 30 games in the NHL this coming season. But again, the New York Islanders got the best player by far, in my opinion, in this draft. And I think he's going to be a future captain for them as well. When you look at how Schaefer fits in, they've got a good goalie, and now you've got a great defenseman for the future. So you're kind of building out from the back end. Next up, they took Victor Eklund. For all you Islander fans, older Islander fans, think John Tonelli. Dog on a bone mentality. If this kid, he sees the puck in the corner, he is just going to outwork and out physically play everybody else in that corner to come out with the puck. When you add him to the riches that the Islanders suddenly have, this is a team, in my opinion, that's had a hard time scoring. Barzal and Horvat just really haven't brought it to the forefront. They've been relying on guys like Anders Lee and Brock Nelson to get the job done. Victor Eklund is going to change that. Again, much like John Tonelli, younger people, go back and watch John Tonelli. He was just an up and down the wing guy. He could score, he could get physical, and just like Victor Eklund, fearless. So the Islanders, just another great selection in Victor Eklund. When you look at his NHL comparisons, people are saying he is a Travis Konechny type, and I think that could translate into a Brad Marchand type if he were to able to improve his scoring in the future. And then with the next pick, the New York Islanders took, in my opinion, the nastiest and most feared hitter, and he's the most personable kid in the first round of this draft, and that is Kashawn Aitchison. For older Islander fans, think of guys like Gord Lane and Bam Bam Dave Langevin. Kashawn Aitchison, he's going to be at the front of every media scrum. He's got a big smile. He's got a huge personality. He loves to talk. He loves the spotlight on him. And, you know, again, he's going to bring that old school Islander snarl. The Islander fans, they're used to winning from back in the day. And remember, the New York Islanders back in the day, hey, the lights just came back on. New York Islanders back in the day won 19 straight playoff series. I think right now that Florida's at 8. So they would still have to win every series the next 2 years just to catch up to the Islanders. And that's the teams that guys like Gord Lane and Langevin played on back in the day. You want to see his NHL comparison to guys playing today? They're saying he plays a lot like Darnell Nurse, and they say he's the best body checker in the draft, very reminiscent of a guy like Radko Gudas. If you have your head down coming over the blue line, you're liable to be staring up at the ceiling very, very soon. So again, the New York Islanders really improved in a big way yesterday, and I think very soon as 2 years, depending on what they do in free agency, depending on, Barzell and Horvat aren't producing. Those guys are taking in almost $18 million a year. If you could find landing spots for them, bring in some younger talent, I think the Islanders are going to be jump-started in a big way. So there you have it. That is a look at the 3 teams that I think improved the most yesterday in the first round of the NHL draft. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Let me know who you think improved the most. If there's a player that you like, talk about him. Let me know. And if you could, please don't forget, like the video, subscribe, and as we always do here at Clearing the Benches, let them know you're out there.